especially the ones who are within the framework of PARTİ organizations, should be paying more attention. The more social distancing we have, the easier it will be for us to curb the outbreak and prevent further spread. And I kindly ask my people to stay at home as much as possible. And we have many measures taken, and we need to take those measures even up to higher degrees, in line with the recommendations of our scientific board and scientists. And if our citizens put themselves in self-quarantine, in voluntary quarantine, then we won't need to be facing more difficulty. And if the if the outbreak becomes more spreaded, of course, more rigid precautions, more rigid measures can be brought about. We have restricted the intercity travel, as you know, and if necessary, we can bring in intracity measures and travel bans and restrictions. In the field of health, food supply, medical supply, and materials, we are offering services non-stop. And we are running online remote teaching, distant teaching activities. This goes the same for distant working. And we are determined to continue to keep our export volumes at the desired levels. And we shared many packages accordingly. We also, as you know, have a campaign started, which goes by the title, the slogan of "We are able to rely on one another." And in line with this national solidarity campaign, we will be identifying those who are in need and distribute the resources, all the supplies necessary accordingly. I invite all the organizations to take active part in that campaign, and we are determined to stand with each and every individual of this country. And the amount, of course, collected through such campaigns would only correspond to a small portion of the aid or the resources the state allocates. And I would like to underline one thing. It is of no meaning to try to create another state within the state. And consequently, all those campaigns are run in line with the state authorities, which is also coming through the instructions from the presidential office and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, local governors' offices, and as well Ministry of Family, Labor and Social Affairs will be directly and actively involved in the framework of such campaigns, as you would reckon. And many municipalities or many local government offices, if they start similar campaigns with no mandate or authority, then it would mean creating another state within the state, and it is of no one's authority. And they are not allowed pertaining to the law as well. And our purpose is to show the solidarity, the unity and brotherhood of our people, of our nation. That is why we have to be standing in solidarity, standing with one another, support one another. But if we take a perspective, a political perspective towards the subject, and make some distinctions in between the party in power or the opposition party or whatsoever, then we cannot stand together. We cannot be in unity. And as the political party in power, we are making the necessary warnings. Our cabinet members and members of our party organization have made many donations, and many did so through their personal individual salaries. And many citizens of this country, of course, have embraced the totality of that campaign. There are many people out there who make speculations. Some say that the state is trying to collect money, and if you will, some say the state is begging. Certain ugly attitudes have been adopted by so many people. So many did that. But all the investments that the state authorities have done, the gendarmerie, the para army, the state institutions, the ministries, and all the other institutions have been involved in this process directly, and the amount that they have allocated for all that cannot be even explained through figures, and that is why the opposition have to be careful. And if they are not, then this nation will give them the due response accordingly. In this process, we have brought many hospitals operational. We have commissioned them. Days ago, there were people who objected the construction of all those city hospitals, but now they are asking for these city hospitals to be constructed immediately. And this shows how they lacked a vision. And we are in an effort and exerting all necessary efforts to bring all these hospitals operational, fully functional, and on April 20, we will be inaugurating İkitelli City Hospital. Its first phase will become operational, and as of May, other phases of the construction will have been finalized, and we will commission that hospital with a capacity of more than 500 ventilators and a total of 2,000 beds. And we fully rely on our citizens to pay the due attention to the measures taken. We need to stay at home, keep the streets empty as much as possible, and pay attention to the personal hygiene and cleaning, and we will overcome that difficult period of our lives very easily. And I, using this opportunity, would like to thank to everyone involved in all the processes, the supply chain, health sector, securities, and law enforcement bodies. And for the materials, such as the masks, the surgery masks, and N95 masks, all the other protective gear, we are engaged in a very active work for self-production, and we are trying our best to address the needs of other countries as well. And we are not getting enough of that, but we are engaged in a very, very intensive schedule of work for the production of gloves and body suits. But on the other hand, we are also extending our gratitude to our gallant soldiers who are defending our country still at this moment when all these difficulties are taking place, unfolding in Idlib within the framework of the Operation Spring Shield, and in Libya, the fight that our heroes have taken on is, of course, glorifiable, is for us to appreciate. All these sacrifices will never be forgotten, of course. My dear brothers and sisters, in the past 17 years, our country has endured a lot of challenges and overcome many predicaments. And we will indeed tackle that difficulty as effectively as possible with God's will. And we will be patient, we will be prudent, and when the time comes, and it's all about time, we will take the necessary steps forward accordingly. I now see across me on the screens the provincial heads, and we are now conducting our extended provincial heads meeting. And I make a call on to you all so that you pay attention to all the measures and make sure that these are disseminated. And if you try your best too, I firmly believe that we will overcome that problem with the least amount of harm to come our way. And we are now stepping into a totally new period in the world. And in the past 17 years, we have developed a lot of human resources. And we are stepping into that process with a lot of preparation, our infrastructure included. And hopefully we will be completing the Great Turkey construction altogether. AK Party made our country a leap forward during its power and time in office, and we will continue in the same fashion by driving the engine. And we will show that AK Party is not only a party of the past but also of the future, and we have a great opportunity standing right in front of us. And what we need to do is to further strengthen the personal, the individual relations we have with our people. And we will try our best and will not stop until we reach out to each and every citizen of this country, and until then we will not stop. And you, as the provincial heads, you are the ones in the front lines to reach out to the people. And the more effectively the provincial heads, the chairpersons work, the more fruitful outcomes we will achieve at the end of the day. And you have a lot to shoulder here. And this process of Congress, I believe, will help us renew ourselves, refreshen our levels of energy, and use the opportunities to create, to structure a higher number of relations with our people. And we will be working in line with our set schedule if we can. If not, then we can have some delays or postponements accordingly. But in accordance with all the maybe possible postponing, we can, of course, reschedule. But all the representatives of the districts and the villages, all the cadres, all the circles within the party organization are kindly expected to work in the hardest way. And we have never knocked on the doors of people for certain specific ends. And with all of our branches, youth branches, women branches, and necessary party organizations, we have tried our best to deliver services so that we could have the nerve to ask for votes from people when the election day comes, because our motto lies on the understanding to be there both in the dark and the light days. And that is why we need to go to our citizens even if they do not need us or when they do not need us too. So both in hard times and also through the rough times. And our purpose is to win the hearts of our people and serve our nation. And we should not forget that the best of the human beings are those who bring about benefits and help the others. And with this perception, we have been with our nation, have portrayed our services, and this is how we will pursue our journey. And every rough patch we end up in shows us to make the necessary activities, to conduct the necessary activities. We need to make sure that our principles stand so the state lives on. And we can apply the same for our political party. And we need to serve for our cause, not only individually, but also think and keep in mind that we have the power to serve and to deliver for the party, for the country, for the nation. And Rumi said, a candle will not lose any light if it puts others on light too. So we expect good days to come. We will succeed in that. We will achieve that, and we will do so all together. And hopefully our nation will overcome that predicament with the least amount of harm to come our way. And we firmly and wholeheartedly believe that we have the strength to do so. For that reason, we will work harder, we will work more, we will serve more. May God be always with us. I would like to extend my love and respect to each and
all right, you've just been listening there to President Erdoğan speaking, a video conference with provincial leaders, provincial heads, and he made a broad speech there with regards to Turkey's efforts to contain COVID-19 in Turkey. Let's bring in our